and you come to the sexy, looking baddie in the screen, right? The minute you come, what do? You close your laptop because you feel like you just feel shame, you feel all sorts of things. If you're that guy that still watches porn, listen to me, you're fucked. I'm sorry to say this, but you're fucked on so many levels. I don't care if you watch it recreationally or compulsively. It's even worse when you get addicted to it. Of course, it's very addictive because of how overstimulating it is and how over-exaggerated it is. And the unending novelty of hot babes in front of the screen can just immediately get your brain hooked to it almost instantly. Guess what? Pornography and orgasm is one of the most stimulating events you can engineer for yourself. And that has pretty much led to, addictive porn use, which can lead to, psychological problems, loneliness, sadness, low concentration. I can go on and on and on about this. And this has led to the rise of weak men in society. It's hard to be truly masculine if you have all these underlying issues in your life. Moreover, I often go out, when I go out, like with friends or with a group of friends, I often hear women say, I just want a strong, dominant man. And sometimes what these women are, saying is they just want a masculine man whose masculinity is strong enough to deem their own masculinity, so their true femininity can just, come to life. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the neuroscience correlation between pornography and interpersonal relationship, as porn is often linked with erectile dysfunction and commitment issues, and also the neuroscience correlation between pornography, depression, anxiety, and lack of concentration. So we're going to dive into all of these things just a little bit. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The vast majority of this content will be coming from Gary Wilson's book, Your Brain on Porn, and Manuel Robinson's book, Cupid Poison Arrow. Gary in his book cites one such evolutionary mechanism called the Coolidge effect. It describes how a male sheep takes longer to ejaculate when having sex with the same female chick, but can ejaculate with a new female sheep in about 2 minutes every time. The porn industry wouldn't be what it is today because of the Coolidge effect. It takes advantage of this mechanism. It tricks your mind into believing that you have access to these hot, novel chicks that you see online. And that's the thing about porn. Porn is not just mere nudity. It's the unending novelty of these hot chicks that you see online. And that's what gets your dopamine levels skyrocketing, your brain and your erections just all fired up. And what happens here is that compared to like the male sheep, right? The male sheep will get exhausted at one point in time, right? And just pass out after having sex with so many chicks. But in our case, that unending novelty, that's what gets us to keep on clicking and opening tabs over and over again. So the real question here is, why is it so addictive, and what does pornography actually do to your brain when you consume it, chronically? There's this ancient programmer in the brain called the reward circuit. It has evolved to drive us towards natural rewards like food, sex, and bonding. As a result of this, extreme measures of natural rewards has a way of capturing our minds. Let's take, for example, high-calorie foods and hot babes that you see online, right? They give extra dopamine, and too much dopamine can override our natural satiation mechanism. And bear in mind, the binge mechanism. Guess what? Listen, give mammals or, people, humans, access to food, they might binge to obesity, and that's why you have issues of obesity, right? And this binging mechanism was once an advantage back then. So people or animals back then in the animal kingdom will make a kill, a wolf will make a kill and take at least 30 pounds of it away just for himself. It was once an advantage. You could eat till, just to survive, right? And the alpha wolf would, if it's the alpha in the pack, would fuck everything he can possibly fuck. Another question is, what if mating season never ends? What happens is, as you chronically consume this natural rewards through watching porn, it erupts a molecule switch called delta force B. And as delta force B starts to accumulate in the brain's reward circuit, it alters the brain and promotes a cycle of binging and craving. So the changes that you would see in your brain are changes very similar to changes that you would see in all addicts, and research has been done on this one. So that's when you start seeing the real effect of this addiction. That's when you start seeing, numbness to pleasure. Everyday pleasure doesn't really excite you. What excites you right now is porn. Porn becomes super exciting. You experience, willpower erosion, and you experience hyper reactivity to porn as well. Those are the three significant changes that you would see from the start. Manuel Robinson's book, on the other hand, focuses more on how frequent orgasm affects or changes the perception you have towards your partner, and how that can in turn ruin the relationship you have with your partner. And I think Gary Wilson and Manuel Robinson, I think they both come to the same conclusion, that ejaculation has or leads to changes in the reward circuitry of the brain. Let's take, for example, I'll give you guys a typical example of what I'm actually talking about. So you sleep with a 6. If I'm talking to the guys now, you sleep with like a girl that's like a 5 or a 6, and the minute you reach climax and you ejaculate, you just don't want to, you have no desire to touch that girl anymore. You feel shame, you feel all sorts of things, because now there are ripples of chemicals going on in your head, and right now you're feeling shameful because you just slept with a 6, a girl you're not really that attracted to, because guess what, I'm horny, I'll fuck her. Yeah. That happens. I'll give you guys another typical example of what happens again. Maybe you're watching porn and you come to the sexy, looking baddie in the screen, right? The minute you come, what do? You close your laptop, because you feel like you just feel shame, you feel all sorts of things as well. You just immediately close your laptop because you don't know why you closed your laptop, but you just feel less desire to even want to watch anything anymore. So that's just a typical example. Those are extreme cases. Now I have a better understanding of what's going on in my head whenever I ejaculate, and why my perception towards my partner is changing. Initially, I thought of this girl as this amazing person, a princess, but right now it doesn't seem like it anymore. But I've come to realize, without understanding that it's just, changes in the reward circuit of the brain. It will take a while for your brain to return to homeostasis, about 14 days. And also, what she recommends to maintaining a good relationship is less orgasm and more penetration. What I've noticed so far from abstaining from pornography, of course, is better concentration, more clarity, more focus. Your willpower is strengthened, you have more motivation, and of course, a deeper understanding of what patience is. I used to just want things right now, but right now I understand that there's a process to whatever you desire for or you're seeking for. And also, from my experience, I think all these forces that I just mentioned, they kind of align themselves together, and they make an opening for you to access information in the brain that maybe it's present, past, future. It tells you maybe you have a problem or a big decision to make. It just tells you, take this, analyze this, take this one, analyze it. It's just like the movie Limitless. The information was there, and as soon as he took that pill, he just had access to all those information, and it just feels like it. Before you know, you found a resolution to whatever problem you're facing. Quitting pornography entirely might be very hard, but I think the benefit of it is just gold. My advice is to engage in activities that are more naturally rewarding. Do more aerobics and resistance training. Go out and, enjoy your life, meet more chicks, talk to more chicks, sleep with more chicks, and also use all that clarity you've gotten and concentration you've gotten from, abstaining yourself from porn. Use all that force, that willpower, and put it into things that you might love and you might want to see brought into reality. So, if you enjoy these types of content, just do well to subscribe, man. Peace.